Hiya! Happy Thanksgiving to all the Americans watching. I know it was yesterday, but I hope you had a good one. So in this video, I'm going to be going through the newly unsealed Wayfarer timeline document and just do some comparisons with what they've been saying and their timeline, which very interestingly was sent to the crisis PR, Melissa Nathan, on the 31st of July, 2024. So I've been talking about this case for nearly a year. Can you believe it? And it has been super slow and painful, to be honest. Because the defendants are refusing to hand over discovery. Well, they've been fighting to hand over discovery, and what we have seen, I personally feel like there's enough, but they've just been dragging their feet. They tried to sue her for defamation. That didn't work. They've tried to say they had attorney-client privilege on documents. That didn't work. They've tried to say, well, Melissa and Jed have tried to say that this is going to hurt the privacy and confidentiality of their other clients. We don't know how. So they've come up with all these excuses, but this timeline is very enlightening because a lot of people have been saying, well, where's the evidence? I want to see the evidence that she hasn't lied and that their story is what I should believe. It's hard, I know. There's a lot of people out there. In fact, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I clicked on something yesterday. I didn't know what it was. It was just a random video that was shown to me. No title. It just had the date. I start watching it, and there's this girl, and she's like, oh, this timeline shows how Wayfarer is going to win this. This is what we've been waiting for. And I'm thinking, have we read the same document? Because if you ask me, this doesn't look good for them. And I can understand why they've been trying to hide it. So it starts off. So as I said, this was sent to Melissa Nathan by their marketing department, Wayfarer's marketing department, on the 31st of July. And they've obviously had a meeting by this point to onboard her. But it's very interesting what's revealed in this document, as we will find out in a minute. So let's start at the beginning. By the way, there are 3 versions, and I'm going with the top version. So I don't know why there's 3 versions, but I'm assuming the top one is the one that they're going with. So it says that on the 14th of December 2022, so that's literally 3 years ago, Justin Baldoni flies out to New York to meet Blake Lively in person. And the meeting goes well. Spent about 3 hours talking about script. Wait. She loved it. Said her nanny first shared with her how popular the book was and how exciting this opportunity was. Yeah, so, I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me that the main reason why they were making a film about this book was because of how popular it was and because it had its own following. Colleen Hoover has a lot of supporters, and she's a well-known author on the book talk community, from what I can understand. She also has I think like fan pages and stuff. So this is where you're buying the rights to something that has a ready-made audience for you. However, securing an actress like Blake Lively, who's a well-known name, is going to give the project that extra push which they needed, because they were able to partner up with Sony for distribution, for marketing and distribution on this. And I don't think that would have happened. Well, none of their other movies have been as big as this. So just two things to note. One is that she said that she had knowledge of the book from her nanny and had very positive feelings about it, because Justin's said all along, one of his excuses kind of why things went wrong, that he was criticized for about his interpretation of the movie, was that she hadn't read the book. She obviously had knowledge of the book. And the other thing that I was going to say is that there was a conversation that we have seen between him and Steve Sarowitz on the 7th of December, so that was a week before, where he said, Blake Lively wants to do it. Hush, hush. I'm going to fly to NY to meet her next week. And then he also mentioned, because Steve, even though he said he doesn't, in his deposition, he said he doesn't get involved in the day-to-day. No, nothing to do with him. But he sent Justin on the same day. He sent him a list of potential actresses to be in the film from Sarah, whoever Sarah is. And Justin said, all those girls are too young to play opposite me. So that's another little thing, because another point that's been brought up is the age of the characters being older than they were in the book. Because Justin is, I think he's like 40-ish, 40s. Okay, so it seems like that was a success. They got the go-ahead, and then we're on the next point in the timeline, which is 6th of March 23, pre-production. Justin flew to Jersey to begin prep. So they're obviously shooting. It's obviously going ahead. He hasn't said anything in between those two dates. And then we get to 20th of March 23, JB first meets with Lizzie Tolbert, the intimacy coordinator. And it's very interesting that he notes that as a point of significance in the timeline. Because this is an R-rated movie at this point. Well, that's what they're supposed to be delivering. So you would think, well, do they really need an intimacy coordinator? But I mean, I suppose even for physical touching, they're required these days. But anyway, I'm not sure if that's when he sent the message to Blake about meeting her that he referenced in his lawsuit. But he was obviously keen to meet her, and he's noted it in his timeline. And then on the 20th, the 29th of March 23, he reached out to Jennifer, the wellness coach, to request a probiotic recommendation for Blake Lively, as she was breastfeeding and taking antibiotics. So I don't know why he's put that in there, because as a woman, I'm not really, that's not really sitting right with me. Why are you reaching out to a wellness coach? And I know who this woman is anyway, I've looked her up. She's an online wellness coach. I mean, it's not really a medical professional. But something like that, it just seems to be crossing a line already. They've not even started work yet. Why are you reaching out about something so personal and intimate? It's just a red flag. It's a red flag that I think's been missed. Another one. And doesn't look good for him. It doesn't look good for him. It's going into someone else's territory. Like, this woman's she's on her 4th kid, and I think she knows how to look after herself. She's she's a good-looking woman. She obviously knows how to look after herself. So why are you getting involved in her supplement intake activity? Okay, so then we have sometime between 21st of April 23 and the 24th of April 23, JB reaches out to BL regarding planning for intercourse scenes. This is an R-rated book. This is an R-rated book. It's about DV. So far we've heard he's had a meeting with the intimacy coordinator. He's reached out to a wellness coach to ask about what supplements she should be taking, which is none of his damn business. And he's reaching out to her about the sex scenes when this is an R-rated book. At tops, it's going to be a PG-13. Need to find actual text to BL. You haven't found that text? But JB and JH, that's Justin Baldoni and Jamie Hughes, spoke about this via text. So more than likely, text was sent to BL on the same day. It's just giving all sorts of weird vibes already. So pre-production, sometime between... This is just unbelievable. 21 April and 24th April 23, Justin had a phone call with Blake's trainer and asked about her weight. I wish I had a sound effect, because I would be like, Bro, what are you doing? I don't know if, and like some of us back in the day, yeah, there used to be something called vital statistics where you would like be asked to give your measurements about your body size. These are things that I thought we had moved on for. Especially this is the anti-toxic male I don't want to say ambassador because I wouldn't even give him that much of a ranking, but he's someone who claims to be on the side of feminism. Why are you asking her trainer about her weight before the film's even started? Pre-production, somewhere around 25th April. Justin had the conversation with Blake and Ryan regarding her weight. Okay. Justin went over to Ryan and Blake's penthouse, and Ryan unloaded on Justin how horrible it was that Justin would ask about a woman's weight. Claimed that JB was fat shaming Blake. Justin was completely embarrassed and apologized and even shared some tears. Taylor Swift and Hugh Jackman were also present in the apartment at the time. So this is a big, this isn't just a red flag. I mean, this is before the film started. You've gone over to her apartment. This is according to the timeline. You've gone over to the apartment and you've brought up her weight. And also look how it's worded. Justin had the conversation with Blake and Ryan regarding her weight. What the conversation? Like, it was waiting to happen. And the other thing that I think is weird is that there's been a lot of talk about Taylor Swift throughout this whole saga. And what we were led to believe, which is different from this timeline, correct me if I'm wrong, was that Taylor Swift and someone whose name was redacted, which turns out to be Hugh Jackman. I think he's an actor. I'm not really up on my American celebrities, I have to be honest. Do you think that's an appropriate time to have that conversation? Because what we were led to believe was that it was about her rewriting a part of the script when they were present. And that then there was the text message and the awkward voice note where she said, my friends really encourage me to put myself forward more. They say I don't have enough confidence in myself because we're living in such a male-dominated world. And it's, but I'm working with you, the person who considers women to be equal. So it's really confusing now, because I've listened to not only have I listened to the voicemail, which I can only think this is the same occasion where he was apologizing, but he didn't say what he was apologizing for in the voicemail, even though it went on for about 5 minutes and it was 2 a.m. and he started talking about her boobs. He never said anything about, I'm really sorry I brought up your weight in front of your friends. That was really embarrassing. I shouldn't have done that. So something not adding up about that. Either he's lying here or he's been lying since then. And saying that Ryan accused him of fat shaming, you absolutely are you absolutely are fat shaming. You 100% are fat shaming, and you're getting involved in her business with her diet and her weight. And it's like, what the hell? Who are you? I'm really like, this is the thing, like, this is supposed to be showing us that he's innocent, that he's been framed, that he's been smeared, that his character has been defamed, and I am not seeing any sign of it. It's making him look 100% worse than what she even said. And it's making it look like his main priority was her body weight and the intimate scenes. And also bear in mind, yeah, as well, I'm sure there was like text exchanges going on. I didn't screenshot them. I do have some text to reference, but there's a lot I didn't, but it's in my head. But I know there was conversations going on between him and Ryan, and he was like, oh, Ryan, I've been such a fan. It's so good to meet you, blah, blah, blah. So if he's gone round there and said that to Ryan, I can't imagine that their relationship was in a good place after that. I forget the date of that text exchange, but I'll have to check that. But it's interesting that the word fat shaming was used, because what I will say is that Melissa used that in a text exchange much later on. We've not even got into the filming yet. Melissa brought up fat shaming. Wonder where she got it from. Oh, could it have been from this document that she was sent? Okay, so now we're on 26th. That's the same day. Oh, no, wait. The fat shaming conversation was on the 25th. On the 26th, Eric Damien, the costume designer, meets with Blake to go through wardrobe. Eric shares that wardrobe fittings are going slowly and he's worried about getting everything done in time. Okay. I meant to look up Eric Daman, but I forgot. So now on the same day, we have a rehearsal at the production office. Justin and Blake worked on the script and had a rehearsal. Justin and Jamie met with Blake at the production office. There's actually messages about the costume fitting, but they're not connected. That's the other thing about this document, is the links to the messages aren't attached. Okay, so I don't think there's anything. There's nothing really about that. I don't know why they've said it. And then on the same day, oh, okay, so at this rehearsal, at the production office, Justin makes comments about praying for BL's father. BL, Blake Lively, later included this as one of the infractions in her all hands meeting before phase 2. Yeah, so she'd mentioned that she didn't like him talking about her dead father, which again, it's crossing a personal boundary. Like, there's no ifs or buts. That's it. It's crossing a personal boundary. I'm not sure how long it is since her dad passed away, but for my own part, I went through so much when my dad died. It literally was one of the worst experiences of my life. And it took me a long time to get through it. So and the question that used to really annoy me is when people would be like, well, how old is he? As if like me telling them how old he was, I was supposed to be like, well, he wasn't that young. I mean, they were going to say, well, he wasn't that young. You know, like I was supposed to be like, not that upset. Like it used to really wind me up. But in a professional environment, you just want to get on with your work. You don't want people bringing this kind of stuff into it. And I have heard before as well, I remember something about he's kind of obsessed. He does like talks about dead people. I can't listen to any more of his mumbo jumbo, but a long time ago. I have been talking about this for a year. I can't believe it. But I remember at some point there was something about him talking about dead people and his theories that dead people, and he's obsessed with dying people and people giving birth. But yeah, I didn't pick up on that. So I don't know why he thinks this is all acceptable. Like, he doesn't seem to understand. This is not acceptable behavior. You know, for him to say I haven't done anything wrong. We've not even started filming. Okay, so sorry, I'm just 26th of April. There's more. This is the first day of them working together. Oh no, sorry. We're on to May now. We're on to the 1st of May. Alex expresses concern about Blake changing scenes. Alex says she's fixing the script. She's fixing the script. She's now directing the movie This Is Bad. Just checking that word. She's fixing the script. She is now directing the movie This Is Bad. Okay, so we've gone from she loves the script. We've had a 3-hour meeting about it. She is excited about the project. You've gone round to her house and cried about her weight. You've made inquiries about her weight. This is you, Justin, I'm saying. You've made inquiries about her weight. You've made inquiries about her diet. And somewhere along the line, going back to the voice note and the text exchange when Taylor Swift was there was a conversation about rewriting a scene. And this is in May 2023. And Alex says she's fixing the script. She is now directing the movie This Is Bad. Now, you know what I did? I found the actual messages, which, give me 1 second. Because, here it is. May 1st. Lively begins. This is in the actual this was filed on the 31st of January 25. So I'm guessing this was from their lawsuit. Because it says May 1st, 2023, Lively begins altering the script daily. The frequency of Lively's revisions and input alarms the producers, who anticipate that her interference would persist every day of the shoot and disrupt the carefully planned production schedule. Here's the thing though, if you are the director and the producer of a film, the production schedule is down to you. So that's your call. If you've had a conversation about her rewriting a scene, then you should have been clear that if you're going to rewrite a scene, it needs to be delivered by a lead time before it's being filmed. That's on you. That's on you, the director and the producer. Correct me if I'm wrong. The actual conversation on the May 1st, 2023, that he's referring to in this timeline, says, producer, are you listening to this? She's fixing the script. I think Redacted's advice was actually wrong. Blake is now directing the movie This Is Bad. Jamie Heath, the CEO Chief Executive Officer and producer of the movie, says, I'm listening. Talking through it is better than not. Seeing what's possible. As long as any decision is done with approval. The producer, I'm not sure who the producer is, but I think it's Alex, because it says in the timeline, link to conversation between Jamie and Alex. So I think it's Alex Sachs, the producer they're talking about. But it doesn't say in this part of the document I'm reading. They reply, not for something that was already intimately planned. Why are you telling these people who apparently have produced quite a few movies already that asking someone to rewrite a scene when something's already planned is not a good idea? This will be every day of the shoot. Then Jamie replies, I know, I'm not sure what can be done, honestly. Well, that's your job. Oh, okay, sorry. I actually do have an unredacted version of that, and it was actually Ange. It was Ange Janetti who suggested that she should rewrite parts of the script. So do you know what I'm thinking? Reading between the lines, because this whole thing has been like trying to do a jigsaw puzzle. At some point during the negotiations, it was suggested that Blake Lively was involved in the script writing. Now, the details of it, we don't know, because we've not seen that actual conversation. But somewhere along the line, there was a meeting at her apartment, there were tears. And there were messages from her saying that she appreciated her friends being there to support her, and him apologising. So it just seems like communication is all over the place because he is not clearly communicating what is going on with her. If he's telling her to rewrite scenes and the producers are saying this is not good because it's not going to work with the schedule, then he's messed up. He is messed up. So now we're on HR training meeting. 5th of May 2023. And the note says, respect in the workplace meeting. Okay. I mean, it looks like it's been fitted in. It looks like it's been squeezed in as an add-on. With someone like, oh, when was the HR meeting? And they were like, I can just fit it in. I don't know. I'm really bad at spreadsheets, so I wouldn't know. But I'm being cynical. 7th of May, 2 days later. BL informed production that her baby is ill and that she would not be able to travel to Las Vegas. Interesting note. Oh my God, here we go. Interesting note is that Blake was seen at Taylor Swift concert on 13th of May 23. Okay, but that was a week later. 7th of May, BL informed production that her baby is ill and that she would not be able to travel to Vegas. And a week later, she's seen at a Taylor Swift concert. I don't see what the problem is there. I just think they want to put Taylor Swift's name into this document as much as they can. Alex says to Jamie in text, the other part of me is wondering if this is all a ruse getting to her ultimately pulling out of the movie later this week when the strike escalates. So what I do know is, that's not, again, not in this timeline, but what I remember from another message, because these messages have been coming out in drips and drabs, and you have to try and remember everything and put it all together because they've been so bad with delivering their discovery. But yeah, I remember there was something about making it work because she had another project lined up. So I don't know if this is referring to this time or later on when they're doing the edit, but the strike action isn't really something that anyone has any control over. It's something that happens in the business, and it's something that, again, as a director and a producer and a boss, you have to deal with it. You have to make the decisions. You have to have leadership skills to deal with it. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the producer was getting the vibe that Blake Lively wasn't really into it. Okay, so moving on. This is the first time I've ever done this, so I'm sorry, I'm being really slow. 11th of May, rehearsal. Oh, okay. This is the rehearsal with Jenny Slate. Rehearsal at production office. Justin recorded rehearsal with Jenny. And then we're told Jenny called out that she was not comfortable with this. Okay, so now it's not just BL, Blake Lively, that's expressing, I don't want to say dissatisfaction, but like there's things going on, because he's saying he's recorded it. Like, was he secretly recording it? Like, there must have been something for her to react like that. Because the thing is, like, most people just want to get on with their job. They don't want to have all this complaining and speaking out. But if you do something to make someone feel uncomfortable, and they have a contract and they know that you're not complying with the contract, then they're going to say something. 13th of May, Justin and Blake potentially meet to write Pink Draft, in brackets, Blake's house. Okay. And then we have shoot day. Yay! 15th of May, 23. Paparazzi photos. Had been published showing unflattering photos of Blake Lively. Yeah, I saw this and I'm like, I can't actually remember the pictures, but when do the paparazzi ever take flattering pictures? I'm sorry. Like, they love to take pictures that are unflattering so they can make a story out of it. Like, oh, anyone past the age of 25, how dare they be out not looking perfect when they've got, was it 3 or 4 kids? So yeah, I'm taking this comment that he's written with a massive pinch of salt. This sent Sony, producers, and Justin into a frenzy, because they had long felt that the wardrobe choices BL was making were not in the best interest of the film. There was a lot of chatter about how to get BL to compromise on wardrobe. So I'm like, there was a lot of chatter, really? Again, this is your job. This is your job to get these things sorted. Like, so what if there was a paparazzi photo? What does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? And again, it's so hard. It's so mad, because like before all of this started, like I had literally no idea who this guy was. And then I find out that he's got this brand where he's like the male Me Too. And he's speaking out against toxic masculinity, and he's supporting feminism, and he's man enough. He's man enough to express his feelings and be vulnerable and create a safe space. And then I'm seeing this and I'm like, where is any evidence of that person? Like, I am not seeing that person in this document. If I didn't know anything about him and I was reading this, I would just be thinking, typical man, to be honest. Because if he was all of the things that he said and an unflattering picture was published in the press, he would be defending her and he would be saying, don't listen to that. But no, he's leaning into it and it's making him upset. And he's like talking about there's been chatter and like, I knew she should be wearing, this is my interpretation of it. He thinks she's not dressing sexy enough because I think there was something about her looking too old. And it's like, my God, if you're like over 30 these days, you're too old to be seen. So now we're in a pink bit and we're on a shoot day and it says Lily's car / Andrew's reading place, 16th of May, meeting in BL trailer regarding wardrobe concern. JB tears up. JH, Jamie Heath, looked in her direction while in trailer. I'm just taking this in. So this is only like the second or third day of filming. She's had an unflattering picture published, or I can imagine. I bet it was in the Mail as well. I bet. Funny how those were the papers you ran to when you wanted to get your side of the story across. In the morning, JB and BL discussed production wardrobe, and BL made some remark about, oh my God, we should have a bell every time Taylor Swift is mentioned. BL made some remark about how Taylor Swift said, the fans don't know what they want until you give it to them, in defense of her wardrobe choices, which were being trashed online. Wait a minute, translation. They were being trashed online by a trash site. I'm just blown away by this document. Further, she paid JB a compliment on this day, and JB, in hearing it, teared up. Sorry. Oh. This would later be weaponized against him, as BL would insist that JB was in her trailer sobbing about how she looks old. Later that day, BL had requested, okay, let's just deal with this. Okay, so basically, let me translate, because I'm now the Justin Baldoni whisperer. Justin's seen a listen, this guy's obsessed with image. He's obsessed with his image and he's obsessed with the image of women and sex. Okay, that's my interpretation based on this document of what I've seen so far. A story's come out where I think someone's taken a paparazzi shot of them filming and they've made some stupid headline. I should have checked it out, but I don't read this kind of stuff just for that reason. It's toxic, so I don't even care what it said. But obviously now he's upset because he's like, oh no, they're laughing at my movie because I wanted her to look like a sex symbol, and because she looks like a normal person, it's being trashed, and now he's having a mental breakdown. That's how I'm interpreting it. And I think when he says she was trying to pay him a compliment, or she paid him a compliment, she was trying to calm him down and say, no, look, I think you're doing really well. All of the messages we see from her is always her saying, you're doing a great job, we're going to smash this, we're going to do really well, I think you're so great, blah blah blah. Whether she meant it or not, that's what she was saying to him. He's equally insincere, so I think she was just being professional and wanted to stay on good terms with him. And this is, like I said, this is the second or third day of filming. Like, it's not like they've been together for months and she's already having to put up with this stuff. And like, she's being targeted. And like I said, he should be sticking up for her and being man enough. So that's that bit. And then we've got the bit about Jamie. So according to Blake's complaint, she didn't even want them to come in. And the fact that it's about this is just insane. They're having an impromptu meeting because of a stupid tabloid story. And so she said, look, I don't really want to meet with you right now. But he insisted on the meeting. So she said, okay, well, please, can you turn your back to the wall? Because I don't have any clothes on my top. And she caught him looking. And then she said, I know you weren't trying to cop a look. Because she's again trying to de-escalate and keep things cool. Because she's actually a professional, sensible person. That's how it's coming across to me. So that's what she said in this timeline. It says, later that day, BL had requested to meet with Jamie, Justin, Alex and Ange after rap. Well, to be honest with you, after this day, I am not damn surprised. Jamie knocked on her trailer and she let him in. In the room was her makeup team, hair and makeup team, and her assistant and or nanny. Well, we're going to find out when we get the evidence in court. Blake later took issue with this. Jamie and Blake spoke about when the meeting would take place. Blake would not adjust her turnaround time and indeed insisted that we meet tonight. After Blake finished taking her makeup off. I guess they left out off. They had the meeting in Blake's makeup trailer. The, in inverted quotes, lookbook combo. So in his deposition, Jamie Heath has said that he went across to the trailer, knocked on her door, and they said, please don't come in. And this is what the attorney who was interrogating him said. Everyone in the room heard no, and you heard yes. He entered the room. And then he said everyone else was outside, only for him to come out and tell them, oh, so we're going to have the meeting later. Does that make sense to you as a story? Or could it be that he gathered everyone together and went storming over there and sort of, I don't want to use the word ambush because it sounds a bit strong, but kind of expected her to be confronted about this? Because it just does not make sense that everyone would walk over there for him to go in and arrange the meeting and then come back out and then for them to have the meeting later on. This is really crazy behavior. And it's like day 2 of filming. And this is in the timeline, so I can see why they wanted it redacted. I think that's what I remember from that occasion. I'm just trying to think if I added any more. It's going so long ago when I was reading through this. We've got a lot of people, we've got a lot of chat going on. Sorry, I can't. Let me. Hi, Phoenix Diamond Media. I absolutely love your content, but I have got to disagree with you on this. I do not feel Justin Baldoni should be going through this. Everything that Blake Lively did overshadowed the movie. Well, that's really interesting for you to say that, Phoenix Diamond, and I'm glad you're here. I hope you're still here because I wasn't ignoring you. But I think what this is showing us is that we've been told that Blake Lively overwhelmed the movie, but how this is presented, how I'm seeing it from reading this document, that's their version of it. That's their version of it. Do you know how many people have to lose or gain weight for this role? This is not abnormal. The book has a description. I mean, yeah, look, the thing is, this is all things, I hear what you're saying, Diamond, but this is all things that are worked out in a contract. This is all things that are worked out in a contract. And conversations that are had between actresses and agents. The actual director and producer going behind her back and making these kind of inquiries, it's not appropriate. That's my read on it. And you know, I have said before that I did used to work in the fashion business, so I was on sets nearly every day, and I was friends with a lot of models and actresses, and I've actually been on shoots with actresses that are on a sort of returning to work photo shoot after having a baby, and I've seen them reduced to tears because of being expected to get into a certain outfit they weren't comfortable with. So I understand all these things are going on, but what the problem here is that they were in charge of this movie. This is their call to make sure all of this stuff is not happening, is not wasting time. You should be not be having impromptu meetings like this when you're on a very tight schedule. So I hope I'm explaining that as best I can. I might have to get a mod if this carries on. I can't keep up. The excuse about the way. I'm really glad that we're having a conversation about it, though, because do you know what? Not everyone needs to feel the same way about things. The narrative on the timeline are inappropriate, not factual. They are supposition would seek to strike as it is self-serving. Chronologies need to be factual and relevant. Yeah, I mean, this timeline is what he sent. This is his timeline that he's sent to his crisis PR. So we're going to get to it in a minute. I mean, we're literally on day 3 of the movie, but he had a feeling inside that some of this stuff that had been going on was going to come out publicly, and that would not be good for him because, like I said, he's portrayed himself as this Mr. Man Enough. And this is not giving Mr. Man Enough. This is like an A-list film. This is not a low budget, like we've just started filming. This is at the beginning of our career film. This should be sophisticated. This should not be all this mess going on. You know, and to be fair, I will say that a lot of actresses can be difficult. They can be late. They can make certain demands. They can have people around them that hold things up and make excessive demands. But I'm not getting that from this document. That's the honest. I'm just being honest. The only thing we've seen as a bit of a problem with the costume designer guy. But again, you know, if there's a problem, you got to sort it. You got a huge team. These people are getting paid a lot of money for this. They're not on a part-time wage. Okay, let's move on to the 17th of May. I hope you're still here, Diamond. I hope I haven't lost you. Because, you know, I need pushback. This is what I've been asking for. Content when it's just me talking is really boring, like. But at the same time, it's got to be intelligent. It's got to be, like, thought out and based on what we have in front of us. Okay, so 17th of May, we're at the Lily Blooms. So this is the day after. The day after or 2 days after? Today... we shot at our Lily Blooms flower shop location. We completed all of the unscheduled scenes, although we did not shoot scene A27, which was... Sorry, I can't see. As you can see, I haven't got my glasses on today. Oh, there's so much to get through. If time permits. Okay. So they're making up time. Things are back on track. And according to this, that is. Bear in mind, this court case is not even going to happen until March. So there's still another 4 months to go of this. I really found it painful. Like, at first, I was so interested, but the way they've dragged their feet with the evidence has been really, really painful to keep up with it. And I just want to say as well, like, Diamond, because I think you've been watching my Epstein content and Virginia Roberts Giuffre, and I'm like, the way that Epstein acted with Virginia Roberts, back in the 2000s. And even one of the other victims from the 2005 FBI investigation, I remember when we read the book, they found her MySpace page. And I was like, yeah, having MySpace in 2005, that was early. They found her MySpace page and they found pictures of her drinking, and they used that to discredit her. That's how far this type of online victim smearing goes back. And I know people are like, well, Blake Lively's not a victim like Epstein's victims. But it's all the same, it's all part of the same playbook. I really want, I'm glad you're here. I want to know how you feel at the end of this, and if you go and watch some of my other videos which show the people behind the PR campaign, because I'm going to be honest with you, yeah, reading this document, I don't even need to see the PR campaign. It's already obvious to me what's going on here. This is an unprofessional environment and it's getting out of hand, and we're only on day 3. Okay, so Lily, so we're on shoot with, oh my God. So the trailer meetings scenario happened on day 2. Day 3 went okay. Day 4, Lily Bloom, Atlas confessing his love in front of something car. Alyssa and Lily fix up Lily Bloom's. Oh, okay, so this is when she's moving into the flower shop. What does it say here? It says, this is the day that Justin would have said sexy to Jenny Slate. She is wearing black leather pants while doing the cleaning Lily Bloom's montage. That's not the only time he said sexy, because I've seen another video where he says it twice. Hospital day. This is day 5 of filming. 19th of May 23. JB texts Blake. Just wanted to check in on you this morning after last night. Feeling okay? Anything I can have ready for you on set? So I think that was the bit where she was like, no, I'm okay. I'm getting Brandon his matcha, or I'm having a matcha or something. But he doesn't put that. Hospital day. Again. Day 6. 23 May. Crew badges became mandatory and then had to include a photo. Blake requested that everyone in crew wear name tag badges with photos. Said this was standard protocol on all sets. This was not a standard practice that anyone else on set was familiar with. Wayfarer, of course, accommodated this request. Well, I know what this is about. This is about the giving birth scene in the hospital. And yeah, it is standard to have passes on sets, actually, especially when people are half naked. I've not really been on film sets. I've done music videos. I've done loads of commercials, and you do get given passes. You normally get a wristband. Well, when I used to do it. So this was 2 years ago, and I haven't been on a set for a lot longer than 2 years. But you get a wristband to show what access you have. Now maybe, just maybe, she wasn't comfortable. And again, this goes back to the contract. She's that, you have these unions like SAG. This is what they're there for, to meet protocols on set. If you're going to do a semi-nude scene and you're an actress of a certain status, it will be in the contract to say that it's a closed set, for the very reason that they don't want people on set that are going to take unauthorized pictures and post them on social media, or worse still, sell them to tabloid organizations. And guess what happened on that set at the hospital on the day before? Someone took a photo and posted it on social media. I don't know if she posted it on that day, but she posted it later on. And we were told that was a closed set. And we were told that Steve Sarowitz was there. He denies it. Or he says, I can't remember if I was there that day. Someone told me I was, but I didn't see anyone naked. So for her to be asking for photograph ID badges, I mean, it is a little bit over the top, but I can imagine that by this point, she's getting a bit frustrated and she's a bit over it, to be honest. Because the other thing we found out about that day in the hospital when she was giving birth is that Justin's friend, one of the Baha'i bros, who's in the Baha'i bro group chat, was playing the gynecologist. So it seems a little bit like it was a bit of a meetup going on, even though Steve Sarowitz says that isn't what happened. Like, it just seems like it is what happened, because that's not the only thing he hasn't been honest about. The very first thing I read out was the text where he was sending him suggestions of actresses, and then Justin was like, I'm flying out to meet Blake Lively. Shh, don't tell anyone. So it sounds like he was a lot more involved than he said in his deposition. I'm just saying. This is a guy who says he's a billionaire. And don't even get me started. Another little thing I've got my eye on when it comes to Steve Sarowitz, yeah? There was a story that a man broke into or trespassed onto his property and started a fire in his front garden, in his house in, it's in the outskirts of Chicago, High something, I forget the name. And then this person sent a threatening text demanding money off of him. saying that they would harm his daughter. So that guy was arrested, like, literally that day or the next day, which is, you know, most people do not have a lot of success when it comes to reporting things like that to the police. However, if you're at a certain status, things are different. And so all these people that are saying Blake Lively is the privileged one, can you take a look at the whole story here? Because Steve Sarowitz acts like a tyrant. He's the Jeffrey Epstein here. Okay, so that guy's been in prison. His name is Eduardo Algaro or something. Algarvo. It's a quite a common name, but it was also on the news. Something like this would not be on the news. The story then circulated via social media, via the content creators that are saying that Blake Lively is a white privilege that stepped out of line and messed up the movie. Same people that are saying that, and the same people reporting that this guy made threats to Steve Sarowitz, even though Steve Sarowitz made actual threats to Blake Lively on 2 separate occasions. He compared getting his own back on her and protecting his studio to Israel and Hamas. And he also said at the premiere screening, he would pay $100 million to ruin her and her family. Now, those are threats. But yeah, going back to this guy. So he's been arrested. He's been in jail. I've been trying to look it up. Nothing's really developed. Then yesterday, I think it was, or a couple of days ago, occasionally I get shown these stories on my YouTube FYP. And there was a woman called Kenzie, and she was reporting on it, and she had got the police report of what actually happened, because we were told in the press that this guy was making threats and, you know, oh my God, this is so bad. This is all Blake Lively's fault because his address leaked. When I'm sure people in that area, from what I've heard, Highland Park it's called, there's a lot of very wealthy people living there. So wherever you've got wealthy people and you've got poor people, you've got crime. But yeah, they've put it down to Blake Lively. So I was trying to find out what was going on. And so she puts up this police report. I tried to look for it myself. I couldn't find it. So I don't know how she got it. She might have put in a Freedom of Information request. But I managed to screenshot bits of the report. And so what it looks like to me is that there was a fire. I don't think it was caused by that guy, even though he's been charged with arson. Because according to witnesses, this is in the report, witnesses said they saw a fire that was put out in the early hours of the morning, caused by the cleaning staff. And it was caused by mixing chemicals. And then on the same day, this guy had heard that there was a fire. Now, this is the bit I need to get the paperwork myself, because that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he heard about the fire from the police, because they said, well, did you have anything to do with that fire? He then went and sent the messages, which he said he was put up to by a friend. So I just think, like, this story is not adding up in any shape or form, but it doesn't sound like it. It certainly does not sound like it had anything to do with the Blake Lively situation. If anything, what it is, it was some opportunists that were hearing that there was a fire, and then they were like using that as a reason to threaten the guy and say, like, it was me that started the fire, and I'll do another one if you don't send the money. But he doesn't even sound like a proper, you know, it wasn't like an organized crime thing or anything like that. It was some random guy that really got caught very quickly. I mean, he's apologized, and he said, like, oh, I was stupid, I shouldn't have done it. And yet the guy's still locked up. So that's an interesting one. Just saying. Sorry, I went on for a bit of a mad tangent there. I didn't even want to do this for too long. And thank you so much for the super chat. Let me see if I can put it up. Oops. Enable chat overlay. Oh no. It's not having it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really, really appreciate. Let me carry on, because I've gone way off on another whole topic. But yeah, Steve Sarowitz, I don't trust him. He's not honest. He's not honest, and I think he made a whole thing. Oh, and the other thing I didn't say as well is that he originally, it wasn't even recorded as a police incident, the fire. It was then when the guy sent the message that it turned into an arson attack. It's just something doesn't add up about it. Because the way it was described was like, it was, you know, he went around there to set fire to his house, and that is definitely not what this fire was. It was a very minor fire. They'd already cleaned it up by the time the police got there. Okay. We are on shoot day 7. Sorry. I've made my screen so big I can't see I can't get to the edge. Right. Oh, now what have I done? Okay. Got it. Bear with. Oh my God. Okay, hospital day 7. Boston bar. Oh, sorry, shoot day 7. Shoot day 7. Boston bar karaoke scene. Revelation about brother, karaoke montage, or slow dance. 23rd of May, Justin made sexy comments. Jamie showed bath video. So this again was on the same day. It was a double attack, depending on which way you look at it. But yeah, the Justin sexy comments is on video, so I don't even need to say anything. And the one thing I will say about this kind of ad lib scene that was shown to us, that was released, the dance scene that was, when did that come out? That was going back to, like, I'm gonna say April. Was it March? Was it February? I can't remember. But remember when Melissa Nathan said she was going to speak to her new bestie, Popcorn Planet, and her other little list of friends that she was sending it to? Candace Owens. I think TMZ had it. All the usual suspects that were on board. So we've already seen it. But yeah, the point is, it was meant to be like a quick ad-lib transition, silent bit of footage. And he filmed it for, was it 17 minutes with sound? And that's when he did all the improvised kissing and hair touching and stroking and all the other stuff, which was not either scripted or necessary for the length of shot that they were actually making there. And there's another channel for anyone who doesn't know. Dale Wheatley, his channel's called Too Real Live. He has done a really good breakdown of that episode. So I'm not gonna repeat what he said, but that is a very good point. It was completely gratuitous, the whole thing. And at the end of the day, JB, Justin Baldoni, sends a text to BL. I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you tease me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today. BL to JB reply, thank you, I do appreciate it. I'm just a bullbuster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal and always want to deliver. You were terrific. I'm proud of everything we did today, but really every day. So again, this choice of words that she said, ballbuster, she's been hauled over the coals for it because it's a reference to a reproductive organ, I guess. I think what she means there is, I'm sorry if I'm putting stress on you by following regulations, that by being part of these organizations like SAG, you're supposed to comply with. I shouldn't be having to tell you that people on closed sets need to have IDs and access passes, but yet here we are. I think she's referring to that. I'm gonna crack on. So next day, 24th of May, maybe when BL and JS call Ange. Oh yes. Ange informs JB and JH that they have called to complain about sexy comments and birth video. Oh yeah, I didn't even say about the birth video as well. So yeah, that happened on the day after they'd shot the birth scene. Oh, 2 days after, sorry. And obviously there was an issue with it. I second Dale's video on the dance. It cringed to see it broken down. and they're live every week. They're live every weeknight, 6 to 8 US time, guys. Right, sorry, I'm going to go to my screenshots now. So let me see what I was going to bring up in reference to this whole birthing shot thing. Yeah, so she's done the birthing scene. She's complained about it not being a closed set. And then 2 days later, they've done this impromptu dancing scene where he's physically crossing the line. So it says that this is around the 23rd of May. And what happened the next day? Oh yeah, sorry, 24th of May. 24th of May is when they made the call. Oh, I forgot I had the deposition of when he goes to the makeup trailer. He said, I knocked, heard some sort of come in or yes, or some indication that led me to believe it was okay to open the door. So the opposite of what the three witnesses said is what was said in the deposition. Let me not jump around too much. Oh gosh, that's the editing bit. We've not got to that yet. There's so much to get through. Oh, Steve Sarowitz. We'll get back to him. Okay, yeah. I can't find it, but I had what did I have? I had the conversation about them calling Ange Janetti the producer. So she had said something like, oh, I was going to talk to you about something, but obviously this is a lot more serious. So I think she was already concerned about what she was doing. Oh, here it is. When Miss Lively reached out to Miss Janetti, so yeah, this was on the 26th. When Miss Lively reached out to Miss Janetti, who was supportive, Miss Janetti texted Miss Lively that what I did want to review, discuss, feels very, very small in light of today's news. I'm so sorry, calling you in moments. So that was at 5:16 or 5:15. In that conversation with Ms. Janetti on May 26, 2023, Ms. Lively told her that she wanted to file an HR complaint that both Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's misconduct about both Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's misconduct. So this is where people are like saying, well, where's the evidence? I think this is evidence. Like, he's literally told us everything. He's told us what happened. He's showed us what happened. And now we've got the actual description of them saying enough is enough. You're making us feel uncomfortable. There was another thing about someone said, oh, bro, you know, I can't say what I feel on this set anymore. This is an atmosphere. This is a hostile atmosphere. This is what sexual harassment comes under. It's not just making one comment here or there. This has been ongoing. They haven't had a chill day. They've had one chill day by the sounds of it. There's the other thing about the driver. That's not in the timeline either. The driver saying they didn't feel like he should be in the car with her alone because he was talking about having not getting consent from people. It's like, I haven't always got consent from my partner, he said, in front of the driver. And the driver's like, I'm not leaving you alone with that guy. This has all been happening to lead to this point of them having this conversation. Although she was sympathetic, Miss Janetti told Miss Lively that Sony, as the distributor of the film, were not empowered to oversee physical production, which included Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath's behaviour on set, and that such concerns must be raised with Wayfarer, the studio responsible for the production. Ms. Lively was concerned with this response because Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath were the chairman and CEO of Wayfarer, and Mr. Baldoni was the director of the film. Ms. Lively did not believe that either Mr. Baldoni or Mr. Heath would investigate their own alleged misconduct, and that disbelief was proven by subsequent events. And how many times have we seen this situation happening? Especially in the content creation world and with music artists, because these people form their own corporations and they're the CEO of their own little corporation. So therefore, the buck stops with them. If they employ someone as an assistant or an actress or whatever it is, and it's a guy and he starts acting inappropriately, who do they complain to? That's why we've got all these lawsuits with rappers, because they're signed to labels like Warner Brothers or Rock Nation, and these rappers are trying to sleep with their assistants, or sometimes they do sleep with them, but then the treatment gets worse, or they try to not pay them and stuff. So what do? They go to the main guys and say, help, this has happened, and they're like, sorry, we can't get involved. Just because it's Blake Lively, you think that can't happen to her. But that's what's happened. She's just described it. He's just showing it right here. Okay, so now on the 26th, Blake got COVID as well. There was, let's not even get into that. I don't think you can hold anyone responsible for getting COVID. But again, if you've got people like Steve Sarowitz coming down to the set from God knows where, people are going to bring germs in. It's another reason for having closed sets. It's not just about seeing someone naked, it's about protecting your own health. So we have on the 28th, let me just make sure there's, okay, 1 second. The birthing video, there's been a lot of arguments about that. They have presented a photo where there's a baby in the picture. It says in her original complaint that Mr. Heath approached Miss Lively and her assistant on set and started playing a video of a fully nude woman with her legs spread apart. Ms. Lively thought he was showing her PORN and stopped him. Mr. Heath explained that the video was his wife giving birth. So if she's giving birth, how is the baby in the picture? I'm just saying. She never said it was porn anyway. She said she thought it was because all she saw was the legs open. So that's another thing that's been argued to death, and people just don't read the actual wording. Okay, so on the 28th, so this is 2 days later. Let me just check my timeline. She gets COVID. She must have been peed off by now. And then on the 31st, JB apologizes again. Okay, so on the 28th, we have a text exchange between Justin and Jamie. And Justin says, I told Steve more today. Oh, so earlier in the message, he was like, hey, why don't you come and hang out with me by the pool? He's like, oh, I'm going to Philly. So he's like, okay, I told Steve more today. Jamie says, I talked to Steve last night also. So they're on the phone to Steve, both of them, quite a lot, it would seem. Mr. I don't get involved in the day-to-day. I didn't share about the comments the ladies had feelings about. Didn't want to share anything you hadn't yet. So that's on the 28th of May, 2023. The comments the ladies had feelings about. So obviously that's expressing that they knew there was a problem, even if they're going to diminish it by calling it comments. Comments that they had feelings about. They know what they're on about there. Justin said, I shared with him today. He said, wait for it, he should come to sit and remind Blake whose money this is. And I said, that's not the best idea. Again, very threatening language for this, the Mr. Philanthropist. Jamie Heath said, yeah, he said that to me too regarding how difficult she is to work with. He doesn't quite get the nuance. I don't quite get what they mean there, but I do have an excerpt from Steve Sauerwitz's deposition. He said, through the New York Times, in the course of the complaint, this is Steve Sauerwitz's deposition under oath, it was said that I was on set for a scene where she was scantily clad and that I was a non-essential person. While I might have technically been non-essential, that's an admission, I did invest $30 million and paid for her salary, or at least my share of it, as well as the other actors, and I consider that to be essential. Ms. Lively considers that not to be essential. She can send me a check. I can give her an address, or you could give it to her. But beyond that, I was not on set. So this is the attitude. Does it sound hostile to you? Because it does to me. And it sounds like they're running to Steve for backup. They're not handling it. Because they're like, did you speak to Steve? Yeah, did you speak to Steve? What did you tell him? And then there's another bit where they're talking about the producer, Calof. They're like, oh no, Calof's cool. That's our guy. Calof's the Wayfarer producer. I'm just saying. It sounds like two naughty boys that are in trouble. It's like, what should we do? Well, we'll go to the teacher we get on with. Or we'll go to Daddy. He'll let us off. He'll throw his money around. This is not the man enough safe space brand. I don't know what happened to that, but it ain't on this movie. Okay, so we got the cancelled because of COVID. We got on the 31st, JB apologises again to BL, and Jenny Slate, who is something through Alex Sachs. Oh, so then they have to bring in Alex Sachs, who had a text sent through Alex Sachs that he is aware of their concerns regarding the sexy comment. I mean, it just seems like... And the other thing as well is regarding the sexy comment, because I just think like too much focus has been on this sexy comment. Like that's the only thing that happened. Like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because it was the way he was saying it, like leery. Creepy. And the girl next to him, when he says it, you can see it in her face. She's thinking, she does this. Like she knows he wasn't meant to say that. And then the next thing that happens is the second AD gets fired. And that's their kind of like solution to the problem. It's like, oh, don't worry, we've sorted it out. So then we're on the production resumes shooting on the 1st of June 2023. Blake took Alex, Justin, and Jamie to her trailer to discuss the company's complaints, to discuss the complaints she had about them. These complaints included the sexy comment, number 1. Number 2, shooting the birth scene. Number 3, told Justin Baldoni that he should not cry anymore. How many times has he cried? So we know of at least 2 occasions. Maybe it's happened again that we don't know about. But he called it weaponizing. I don't think it's weaponizing. I think it's like emotional manipulation, like someone crying in front of you that's supposed to be your boss. Like, I would feel really uncomfortable if my boss started crying. Like, maybe once if their relative had died or something really traumatic had happened, then maybe, yeah, that would be okay. But they would be, as a boss, they should be able to compartmentalize their feelings in that moment and be professional. Like, I'm afraid that's what being in the workplace is about. And so if it's coming to the point where it's been 2 or 3 occasions and it's starting to feel like he's being emotionally manipulative, then that's obviously why she's brought it up. Told Jamie Heath, as he looked at her, in the trailer, told Jamie Heath that he looked at her in the trailer. 5 says that she was offended that Jamie Heath asked to hug her sister, asked Blake Lively's sister for a hug, and then minimized HR concerns. She also my God, you know, when they do it on the pink, I can't read it. She also introduced something. Oh my God, okay. I'm going to leave that. Something I can't recall, he said anyway. But the point is, she's now got like 5 or 6 things that she's had to speak to them about, and it's been like a week of filming. They've had a shutdown because of COVID. They've had another shutdown because her baby was sick. And remember, like, she's trying to juggle having a new baby with this set, and they keep coming into her trailer and stuff, you know? All of these things are not good for a baby. So I wouldn't even want to think about what Jamie Heath gets up to in his spare time. I'm just saying. I can't believe I'm only on page 1. Right, where are we? I don't know how I could read this before, and now I can't. My eyesight's getting worse. And the thing is, like, if I put it on my iPad, I won't be able to look at all the other stuff. So I really apologize. It's probably pretty boring watching me trying to fiddle around with a. Right, let me try and do that. Okay. What have I done now? That's better. Okay, so production resumes shooting. No. And then we have the party scene, loft party scene. Alyssa's loft party scene. Justin and Blake potentially met to make changes at her apartment. AJ emailed Yellow Pages that night. 3rd of June, Jamie calls Julie Bloom to let her know they are letting her go. He goes on to say she is pissed. So I remember there was a message exchange where Justin was like, well, I don't want to let her go. And Jamie's like, yeah, I know, but that's where we're at, man. And it's like, just make a damn decision. Like, seriously. Like, they're just so... Ugh, they're so annoying. It's the passive aggressive. It's like, if something's not working, then you've got to be pragmatic about it. This is $1 million movie, and as it goes on, a multi-million-dollar movie, I should say. As it goes on, he starts to panic about money. Anytime that there's a break in the production or something like that, it's Blake's fault. But all this other stuff, obviously, they're making it seem like she's inconveniencing them. But at the same time, they're just going by the guidelines. They're going by what's in their contract. They don't seem to see it like that. They're like, this is our company. We can do what we want. No, it doesn't work like that. You're with a professional. 3rd of June 2023. BL invites JB into her trailer while she's pumping. Okay. That must have been that one time. And also, pumping. I think you can put like a cover thing over you. So on the 3rd of June is the mirror shower scene. And then the next day, there's a strike shutdown day. On the 7th of June to the 8th, resume shooting at the route due to bad air quality. There are no strikes. And then on the 13th, so that's 5 days later, the first assistant director, Alex Finch, and team are diligently working on plan to complete shooting before SAG strike on the 30th of June. Let me just see one thing quickly. Where is the bit about her lawyer? Oh, maybe that was in another version. But I remember there was something about her lawyer and the shower scene. Or maybe it's... Wait a minute. I don't know. Now I'm confusing myself. Oh, it's in July. Is it? Oh no, it's on. Okay. So I think the shower scene was when they were talking about, I don't know, the bit over the shoulder or something, or am I getting confused with something else? Anyway, they know there's a strike coming. They're trying to get everything done. Blake has made plans because that's the kind of organized mother and partner of a very successful A-list actor and influencer she is. She's going to London and refuses to return to work. BL requests dailies. JB does not send them, but sends her 5-hour playlist instead. So there was a message about that, which I'm not going to bring up because I'm being really slow, but she requested the dailies so her manager could have a look, and they were like, no, don't let her unless it's in her contract. So yeah, I think the timing of the strike is really interesting because notice it's in June and there's nothing being said about rewriting scripts here. That's going to come up in a bit when they decide to make up a story that they were breaking strike lines or scabbing. 16th of June, prep begins without Blake, young cast only. Crew begins prep for shooting TEHH young cast. Production resumes shoot all scenes with young cast. So this is while she's off in London. BL requests dailies. JB says he is not ready to send or something like that. JB texts BL to let her know that it was his last day in the edit and says HB day to BL. JB send latest approved Sony script to department heads for use for schedule and budget. Blake's agent and manager reach out to Jamie to request that JB fly out to New York this week to show BL a rough cut of the film. JB was not able to drop everything and fly out. Instead, said that he would be in NY in a few short weeks, 5th of November, for prep and would show her then. So this is, we're in October now. Blake's agent, oh no, I've read that. 29th of October, EP UPM travels to NJ. Who's EP UPM? 5th of November, Justin, Jamie, and John Logan travel to New Jersey 9th of November 23, Lindsay sent confidential protection letter to Wayfarer on behalf of BL. I'm sure there was another version where they said, wait a minute, let me go to the next. Ninth of November. Legal conditions from Lindsay sent to Wayfarer regarding Blake. I can't remember where I saw it, but there was an issue because the mirror shower scene, she was basically undressed and she hadn't signed a nudity rider, and her lawyer stepped in. And these are the things where, going back to Diamond's point about Blake Lively was overbearing, I don't see it like that, because she is an actress slash producer. So she's meant to be giving input, but scheduling shoot days and locations and wardrobes and all these other things are not, that's not her job. If you know your actress needs to be naked on set, you need to have that signed off on. It's like when you would go and see, you would buy tickets for a rap show and then it would be cancelled because they would fly in and they hadn't got a visa. You know, I would expect that from a rap show, but this is a multi-million-dollar movie going on for Sony Pictures. It's not, this is like amateur hour. So do I think she's been overbearing? No. I think she's at the top of the game and that's what you get. That's what you're meant to get. Right, let me go back because I'm really confusing myself because I read through this all and now I'm like, then I realized there's like 3 versions of this thing, but I'm sure I was reading the first version. And it said something about Leslie, her lawyer, stepping in about the nudity. And I was like, I mean, yeah, you would step in about the nudity, because if she turns up and they're like, get your clothes off, this is a nude scene, and she knows full well that's not in her contract, she ain't going to do it. She's going to be straight on the phone to her lawyer and her agent. That's what their job is. So that's not her being difficult. That's them trying to pull a fast one. I mean, I'm not too sure about this all requesting to see the dailies and stuff like that because I don't really know how it works. But yeah, I mean, is she being a little bit demanding of him? Maybe. But why are you including that? I thought this was about a smear campaign. Asking to see the dailies, or like her manager to have a look at the dailies, or can you come for a meeting in New York? I don't see how that's her doing anything to make him look bad. She's just doing her job, you know? And every message I've seen from her, she's like superly over polite. She's not like rude, demanding. She's like, oh, is it okay? Like, I've got the message right here. she says, this is June 14th, yeah. Hey, would you mind giving me access to dailies? And I'm curious which takes you liked of the scenes you showed Warren. My manager Justin flew out to visit set and leaves tomorrow AM. He heard all about it from Warren and I'd love to show him. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make this happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate. Thanks so much. Does that sound like a demanding bitch? No, it doesn't. The way he makes it out, it's like, you know what I mean? Okay. Jamie and Justin travel back to LA, brought on Todd Black. So they've brought in a new producer. There was another thing as well, which I can't find, where they wanted her to come to carry on work during the strike and she refused. And then they were being quite insistent and she said something about, I know legally I don't have to, you will have to sue me or something. And I don't know where I saw it, but she was completely, again, telling them what she wasn't telling them what they wanted to hear. But why the hell would she have to cross picket lines because they hadn't sorted out the shooting schedule properly? Do you know what I mean? Oh wait, is this it? Do, do, do. Be how reluctant to get on a call. What's this? I'm just sick of him. What I was going to say as well is every single thing in this document is stuff that has been fed to the content creators and the channels like Popcorn Planet and Candace Owens and the early ones like Brett Cooper, I forget who else. Shisty. We've not even got onto the bullying comments. I can't believe the bullying thread. Sorry, I can't believe how long I've taken on this. Like, I just looked at the time and I'm like, what? How long have I been talking? I'm gonna probably have to wrap it up because I really didn't think it was gonna. I thought it was gonna be on for like an hour. They sound like man children. They absolutely sound like man children. Like, also I'm finding it really hard to concentrate. This is why I could not be a streamer. But yeah, let's wrap it up for tonight and say that this timeline was sent to Melissa Nathan on her first day that she was brought on as a crisis PR, and she had to make a campaign out of this. They said they were going to boost Justin's popular press, but guess what? Justin didn't have any popular press because there was only like 2 things he did, and they were like, where's Justin's press? No one really cared about him. No one really knew who he was. So they decided to make this document and the 17-point return to work plan into the marketing strategy to save his reputation. So if you look at it like that, if you take everything that's been said in this timeline and translate it into Reddit comments, TikTok comments, Instagram comments, Twitter comments, it all aligns with what he wanted to be achieved and what we saw happening in real time, which was it was all about her taking over the movie, being a diva, and holding up production. And what I see from reading this timeline is the exact opposite is going on. These guys were not in control of what they were doing. They were messing around. They were making mistakes. They were having production having to step in and liaise on their behalf. Jamie's like, thinks he can just talk his way out of any situation. He thinks he can just barge in and do his Baha'i, it's okay, man, you can, like, this is not cutting the mustard. And the thing is, this production showed up their weaknesses, and I don't think they knew how to handle it. And that's why they brought in the crisis PR, because they knew they was about to get exposed and it could get worse. Because having HR complaints about sexual harassment, and we've not even got into the full hostility about how he was sending negative messages about her. That's retaliation, and it's all in this document. So that's it. That's the evidence. Case closed. I don't need to say any more. If anyone wants me to carry on, I'm more than happy to do another one. What's going on? Share my referral link. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna do another live this weekend with Online BS Pod, and we are going to be talking about Alexa Nicholas. So I'm looking forward to that, because she's kind of involved in this story as well. It's really interesting. She's actually made, so she started off being Team Baldoni, which I just think so weird, because how can you be Team Baldoni when you did a protest outside Brian Friedman's office? But apparently she may have switched over sides, but she still hasn't done any research into it. And yeah, we're going to get into that. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing Casey and Nathan, because they are funny and they do research like me. And on that note, I hope you can join me again. And I hope you all enjoy what's left of the evening or the rest of the day. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Let me know what you think in the comments.